Hello, everybody, and welcome to the long-awaited finals of this amazing tournament that is Johnny's Scrims. I am back once again to host these finals, and today we have a very special guest with us to co-host this game with me, Mr. Bame1, one and only Wrecking
Marin,
Ball God.
Marin, how you doing, man? I'm really looking forward to this. You and I've done a few things over the last couple of weeks. I really enjoyed the casting, so I'm really looking forward to this matchup.
Yeah, it's gonna be a really, really interesting game. Um, we've seen these two teams play against each other in the past. In fact, the most recent match that has been seen on this channel was between these two teams. And while it was reasonably close, Crimson did come out on top last time, but I have high hopes for Yoinkers. I'd love to see them come out on top, especially since they are the actual hosting team of this entire tournament.
Yeah, I've gotten to watch Yoinkers a few times. I really like GDB up there as the big beefy tank, kind of making some moves and dictating the pace. And I love watching Johnny Scrims ride a truck, man. I love him hanging back there, not taking any business from anyone if they kind of try to sneak up on him. Johnny's always there to give him a good sleep and take him out. It's fun to watch.
Yeah, he's kind of nutty with them sleep darts and also just anti-nades as well, being a speciality of his. Um, Anyways, for this first map, we're going to be heading over onto Nepal. Um, so we'll get things underway. BAME Nepal is a very good ball map in my experience, especially for this first map, Sanctum, where it's indoor, but there's a big old pit right beside the point. So you hope to see some ball plays around here?
Absolutely, I love hanging out in that covered area, and you just kind of peek out there, and it's a really good spot to get some boots, man. I really love it. You just kind of roll around in there and come on out real hot and knock them off the edge.
Well, hopefully we'll get to see some of that in a little while. However, it looks like neither team are starting out with the Wrecking Ball as Crimson are... Ooh, the team's on the wrong side. Hang on. That's fine. I have that fixed. Um, Crimson, as I was saying, are going for a bit of a dive, a bit of a rush comp with the Monkey Diva, and the opposite side on Yoinkers are running that double shield comp, a very slow playstyle, but a risk of being very, very good to pull the opponents into the pit. So it's going to be interesting to see how each team decides to play this one out.
All right, we got looks like we got a torp set up on the right side here. Got a little bit of a fight. Yoinkers is on the low ground.
Yeah, as now we do see a massive rotation coming through. Crimson taking the long way around, all the way around the point, but they found this Torbjorn out of position. They decide to dive on him, but Corrupted shuts down that Doomfist coming in first with his Sonic Arrows, or whatever the new ability is called, Storm Arrows, that's it. As ASMR Haze Diva as well, taking out Nutcake before he can even get into the fight as well. Ludigo Yoda and Halisav, though, following up, finding the first two kills for their team as well. It's now 4-4 on the point, as Ludigo Yoda on that monkey is just going to get a lot of cleave damage in here on everyone that's inside that small little room. And now already the coalescence coming out from Sheg. That's a really, really quick ultimate, and that's a lot of cleanup for Crimson as they take this first fight for themselves.
Wow, the patience on Crimson really paid off there. They went all the way around, and they're just able to, they got King Raptor right away, and then just kind of able to pick them apart. Monkey sitting on point. Good job by Crimson. I like it.
Yeah, very, very well played by Crimson, playing it slow and looking for the right target and the right opportunity, and then executing perfectly to get the necessary kills. As now we see both teams repositioning, and looks like Crimson want to hold this really, really aggressively with Zodic on the Doomfist taking it off angle, and it works out really well for him as he punches in. He finds Corrupted before getting stepped, but whipped away by Brigida. As now Toastman as well pushing forward, finds King Raptor, and we already see the Primal as well being pulled out from Ludigo Yoda, who's trying to prevent that Ana from getting back into spawn and looking for some extra picks as GDB does get taken out as well, holding the front line a little bit too long and eventually getting picked off. And a very, very quick fight for Crimson there.
Yeah, and Crimson's going to have 3 ults for this next fight, so they can kind of stagger them a little bit. They're looking really in a good spot right now.
Yeah, Crimson looking really, really strong right now as Yoinkers decide to go for a bit of a different rotation and push through this really tight corridor on the left-hand side from their perspective. As now the Molten Core already coming out from King Raptor to try to get a pick off with the High Noon to counter, as well as a Meteor Strike from the opposing DPS. This Doomfist Zodic going to look to slam in the backlines here as the Nano Boost is coming out onto... Actually, did that even hit anybody? I'm not sure if it did. GDB died before I was able to get to him. As Corrupted does take out Zodic in the backlines, but another Coalescence coming through from Sheg to just push Yoinkers back out from this corridor and taking out Brigida in the process.
Yoinkers just can't get through the choke. They're stuck. They kind of peek in, but Crimson's just too strong, and Yoinkers just can't penetrate.
That's a big stagger as well there at the end as Toastman picked off GDB, who's just jumping back to spawn but couldn't quite make it in time. And now with 90% on the point already for Crimson, it's going to be difficult for Yoinkers to touch, never mind win this next fight.
Yeah, it's Yoinkers are running out of time. They're gonna have to do some magic right here.
Hayes, Diva, and GDB using all their cooldowns to get onto point as soon as or as quick as possible, and they do touch point on time to force the overtime, and they might even get the capture here, but the beat drop from the opposing side keeps everyone alive right up until just now, where Ludigo Yoda gets taken out by Corrupted High Noon after copying the McCree on the other side. But Toastman and Hollyside are just cleaning up on point right now, getting all the kills. King Raptor does find 2 for himself here, but it looks like he might be alone. GDB is coming back as quick as possible. And there's a 3rd kill for King Raptor. He's doing absolutely amazing here, popping off. GDB now is back in the fight as well, keeping control at this point, trying to stall for as long as possible. This overtime has been going for a long time. GDB swings a little bit low on the map, can't get back up on time, unfortunately. And this is a 100% to 0 for this first point for Crimson.
GDB too sneaky there at the end. He could have just went in the little side room and he would have been okay, and he could have touched, I think. Oh no.
Yeah,
but I think it was inevitable though, right? Like Crimson played very well that round.
Yeah, Crimson looking really tight, really strong for this entire round. And GDB, as you said, making a bit of a miscalculation on how long he had for that overtime wick to burn down, and unfortunately not being able to touch the point on time. That said, Yoinkers did have a few good pushes, just unfortunately just couldn't break through the chokes thanks to really good defense from Crimson.
So I'm thinking this map's a little bit more wide open for Yoinkers. I think they'll be able to penetrate a little bit better and perhaps control the fight a little bit more.
Yeah, that's what they'll be hoping to do, as they have GDB now switching over onto the Reinhardt to just try and control the point a little bit better and to beat off that Winston, have him a little bit, force him to play a little bit more passive. But the Zarya on the opposite side coming out of Toastman just enables the Winston to play even more aggressive. So it's going to be interesting to see how these two main tanks play up against each other, as already we see an Echo flying up behind the Yoinkers side and trying to take them out. But a nice Mail coming through from Corrupted does push them up high enough to get over the wall and just aggress completely onto the tank line of Crimson. And they do take out both tanks without losing a single member of their own team. Both their tanks are quite low though. Yoinkers going to have to play this quite slow as they look for these final few kills, but King Raptor doesn't want to play slow at all. He's going full in and he finds 3, looking for a 4th onto Zodic here. He does find it indeed. Zodic did find a DMAC onto ASMR Hayes Diva, but that's it. A really nice play from Yoinkers there.
Wow, that ball from Crypt was great. They went up right under. I think they really surprised Crimson. They weren't expecting to lose the high ground like that. That was a great move.
Yeah, definitely a really intelligent wall there, and something that you don't see very often, so definitely a real surprise for that Crimson side, is now GDB looking to be doing a bit of scouting, and Ludigo Yoda already falling down to 40 HP, and now the window coming out as well as the Earth Shatter from this Yoinkers side. The Shatter only finding Ludigo Yoda because the Maywall stopped it from hitting anybody else, but that's all they need. 1 kill is enough to win that fight.
Yoinkers like to kind of hunker down a little bit and bunker. It looks like they much prefer that to assaulting choke point.
Yeah, and it's much easier to hold those angles and use those defensive ultimates early on and enable that little bit of extra pushing power for their team, as now the nano boost comes through onto Ludigo Yoda, as well as Zodic diving in with him to try and get some early picks here. And the Immortality Field is big, was to keep that McCree alive long enough for that High Noon to get off, and it does finalize Ludigo Yoda as well, and the copy onto the Reinhardt from Zodic. Unfortunately going to get taken out before he can build up his Earth Shatter, and the High Noon as well from Hollysoft not finding any value, and he's getting taken out by King Raptor, who's just playing out of his mind today. As Hayes Diva as well pushing forward, finds pick onto Toastman, and Sheg just jumps onto the point in order to get himself killed to reset with his team.
Crimson, they used a lot of alts, they didn't get any value out of it, and now Yoinkers is sitting pretty with 3 alts basically. Wow. This what a turnaround on this run.
Yeah, we see Ludigo Yoda finally switching over onto the Reinhardt. Definitely his main hero, as they look to play a little bit more aggressively here. They're going to run onto point and just hold the point for as long as possible. Try to capture it, and Ludigo Yoda going to try and force GDB to play into him where he believes he is the better Rhine. But a nice bomb and pin coming through does find Ludigo Yoda dead, as well as Hayes Diva eating that Graviton Surge coming from Toastman as well. Really nice play from him before he got demeched. And now Yoinkers just looking to clean up here. King Raptor just gunning down that Brigida, and Toastman as well, not able to touch the point on time. And a complete flip compared to last round as Yoinkers go 100 to 0.
You didn't switch the team colors on me that round, did you? Like, it seems like 2 different teams are playing each other.
Yeah, definitely we can see how different teams like different maps and different team comps, as well as Yoinkers just looking so good on that brawl, and just forcing Crimson to switch off that dive comp onto a brawl comp of their own. But unfortunately, they just switched too late, and they didn't have the ultimates to actually overrun this Yoinkers side. As now both sides switching over onto the more mobile heroes for the DPS anyway, as Corrupted and Zodic switch over onto Pharah and Echo respectively. So it's going to be interesting to see how each flying hero plays and controls these skies for Village.
I'm looking forward to see what Crimson does coming out. They seem to have a lot of patience and kind of like watching them methodically move around on the start of the point.
Yeah, these double bubbles rotation is key. So we see them now playing quite passive, waiting for their Echo to get in position and do some callouts, flying over the main choke as they all rotate now onto the low ground, which is kind of what Corrupted wanted, I believe, as he's able to just fly above the point and just get a lot of spam damage in before going in, he's probably going to try to get in behind here. As once again, Yoinker is just playing it nice and slow, waiting for their DPS to get in position before they engage in this fight. But it looks like Zodic and Ludigo Yoda are not going to let that happen as they push in aggressively. Ludigo Yoda does get taken out, but not before Zodic does find the pick onto Brigida on the Mercy. That means only one healer now for this Yoinker's side is now GDB getting taken out as well. It means there's no main tank. They're going to have to regroup and recontest later on.
They traded DPS kills, but then GDP went down and now they're forced to restart.
A nice little
Ooh,
stagger as well onto King Raptor. Got caught out of
that's
position and
not
got
good.
taken out. McCree is not the hero you want to get staggered.
No, so that's really going to slow down this push. You're going to get a lot of precious percentage points out of this.
Yeah, not only that, but Sheg as well has the nano boost available. So if that goes onto either Zodic or Ludigo, you can tell there's going to be a lot of work getting done. But an early high noon coming out of King Raptor does shut down Zodic very, very early. Has a nice pick for Yoinkers, as now Ludigo Yoda is pushing in really aggressively, but a nice pin out of GDB just after that Zari bubble drop. But the nano boost comes through to keep him alive, as well as a huge anti-nade from Sheg. Does find 3, and Toastman and Holysov are able to clean up the rest of the kills, while GDB and Haze Diva pushing a little bit more passive and wait for that anti to clear off. Now the window as well coming through from Johnny Scrims. Unfortunately, it's not going to find any value as the high noon from Holysov just shuts him down, as well as GDB getting pressured on the low ground. Not able to get any heals because he's inside of a Winston bubble.
Oh, Yoinkers are looking a little sloppy on this round. That's not gonna cut it here with Crimson being very disciplined right now.
Yeah, we see a switch up as well of the team comp from Yoinkers. They decide to take out that Mei instead of the Pharah and switch over to Lucio instead of Mercy as well. So they have no ultimates available. GDB is close to Shatter, Haze Diva also close to the bomb. But there's already 2 live ultimates, almost 3 for the defending side here. As already GDB under a lot of pressure, as well as Zodic copying the Reinhardt, taking him out first and going for the Shatter now. Finds 2. Haze Diva going to be demeched by that Brigida that's using the rally, as the rest of the team are just getting absolutely cleaned up. 90% on the board. Yoinkers is going to struggle to touch here. And the Graviton Surge still available for Toastman as well to slow them down even further.
Oh wow! So they got out of that. They still have the Zarya grab too. Wow.
Yeah, the
Nice
grab being used perfectly there just to stop any
easy.
recontest from happening. And as you say, easy for Crimson there as they take this first map.
Yeah, just Yoinkers making a few mistakes at the start between GDP dying and then a Raptor dying, and Crimson just being really steady and not making any mistakes and able to hold on. Wow, that was a great first game.
Yeah, Crimson definitely biding their time until the exact right moments to push in, looking for picks and playing off that for the entire 2 points that they won, which is definitely very, very good play from them, as Crimson do go up by 1 for this series. This series, of course, is actually going to be a first to 4 to the first to 3, I believe, as it is the finals. So Yoinkers definitely still have plenty of time to come back.
Action today, I'm looking forward to it. This is so far so good. I hope the boys keep it up.
Well, hopefully they will. And I believe it's actually going to be Yoinkers choosing the next map as well. So I'm going to be interested to see where we go. I believe we're going to be going onto an escort map, if I'm not mistaken. Either escort or hybrid anyway. So what kind of maps would you like to see here?
I think last time we saw a lot of King's Row on the second map of the day. Why not? Let's watch it. Everyone seems to love that map, right?
Yeah, Kings Row definitely a fan favorite and a player favorite as well. But looks like we're going for escort before hybrid here, as Yoinkers choosing Watchpoint Gibraltar, which I know they have definitely practiced on quite a lot. but it's also a very difficult map to play and very, very dive heavy, which could play into their favor as Crimson are a very, very strong brawl team. But so far we have also seen them play a good dive on two of the points from, well, dive and double bubble on two of the points from the last map.
All right, so I'm kind of looking forward to see how Yoinkers kind of set up on this one. Seeing if they, I want to see what they do on the top, the higher levels of this map. You know, and me being a gold player or below, I don't get to see that very often. So I'm kind of taking some pointers from these guys, just trying to see what they do. Trying to help my own game out, Marin. You know.
Well, that's the exact right way, right attitude to have when you're watching games like this is how can you learn from these higher tier players and improve on your own gameplay as well, which is definitely easier said than done. But we do see Yoinkers are actually going to be on attack first as Crimson have decided to defend, which is kind of expected, honestly. Defense is always preferred on this map, or at least in my experience, as it's a pretty rough map to attack on, especially for the first point and maybe even the first and third. Second point tends to go fairly smoothly, so long as you don't get snowballed very, very quickly.
I wonder if we're going to see any divas here. We saw a lot of divas the last couple times we were together, and the diva gameplay is kind of interesting to watch. Definitely moving up and down on the different levels of the map.
Yeah. Well, I expect to see Diva coming out of both sides as well as a Monkey. As you said, Diva just so good at getting up and down between all the different levels of this map, and Monkey is the same as well, or Winston, I should say. Just very, very mobile tanks who are able to control both the high ground and the low ground kind of simultaneously. However, it looks like Toastman is giving us a bit of a runaround. He's switching between a few tanks, but he might be settling on the Zarya here as Ludigo Yoda is switching over onto the Winston as well. As I said, that Winston just so good for controlling these high grounds. It looks like he wants to be doing exactly that.
Yeah. So I'm curious to see how this goes. I wonder if Holly-Sav's gonna be able to pop off on that McCree. See if we get some dirty head clicks.
Well, it's going to be a lot of pressure on him as King Raptor has a little bit more range with that Ash, and Corrupted as well will be able to harass his backline if he's able to shut him down with that Echo as well. So far it's just GDB jumping in aggressive, trying to scout that bridge and clear it out a little bit if possible, but he's getting heavily pressured here by Ludigo Yoda as well as Toastman, as already Ludigo Yoda did find the pick onto Corrupted, but the Resurrect was there from Brigida to get him back in the fight straight away, as now a really aggressive dive comes through from Ludigo Yoda. He spotted Johnny Scrims off in the backline really, really well there, and a well-executed dive is enough to take him out, as Zotic as well, defending his own teammates, shuts down GDB's dive, and it looks like he's looking for Haze Diva as well. He's going to be able to find that kill, as Holly-Sav and Ludigo Yoda just clean up that front line as well.
Oh wow, the Winstons are in the back line. That's a lot going on to watch. Kind of both teams playing a bit aggressive here. I like it.
Yeah, comps like this is definitely important to try and spot one person out of position and then just collapse really, really aggressively onto them. And I must say, Ludioda did that really, really nicely onto Johnny Scrims at the beginning of last fight, and that kind of just won the fight for them right there. As now the sleep comes through onto Ludioda, but he's woken up as he's jumping up into the sky, unfortunately, meaning he's not going to be out of the fight for very long. Is now Corrupted
just barely got out of that one.
Yeah, he's under a lot of pressure there. As it looks like GDB and Corrupted have successfully taken control of this high ground. But Zotic and Ludigo Yoda won't want to have that happen for long, as they're getting that pressure back up. Zotic pressured down by King Raptor, who now finds a kill onto Holly-Sav as well. And DOS is in the Bob, going onto the payload here, as now the entire side of Yoinkers are just pushing in super aggressive. Already Bob being slept, but that means no sleep to go onto the likes of GDB if he wants to dive in here. Ludigo Yoda trying to keep the pressure up on the high ground, push those supports away. But with that primal, but he's getting tossed about a little bit by Brigida, and now the sleep they're coming through from Johnny Scrims as well is going to shut him down completely. Johnny though getting knocked off the high ground by the whip shot coming from Nutcake on the Brig, and the bomb as well coming from Zotic. Unfortunately not able to find any kills, but Holly-Sav and Sheg are able to find those kills, find two in the front lines of their own team. As Zotic now pushing in really, really aggressive, finds Haze Diva as well.
I was really looking forward to a big Diva bomb there from Zotic, but didn't work out for him.
Yeah, nice position there by Brigida as well to shield that for Johnny Scrims as well.
And Crimson just right back on top, holding that position really well. They're doing a great job.
Yeah, they're playing really, really well here. Really solid defense. It's going to be really hard for Yoinkers to break. They have to control this high ground or else they won't be able to win this. A nice anti-net though coming out early, and GDB capitalizing on that does take out Sheg and forces back the other support, or actually I should say the other McCree, all the way back off the map. But Ludigo Yoda looking for the boops, and he finds one, he finds Brigida.
Oh,
Ludigo Yoda
nice
is actually
job,
slept as well in the back lines, and he looks like he's going to be booped off the map. Haze Diva finding that boop with those boosters as Halisov takes out the front line, takes out the other enemy McCree in his front line. As Yoinkers are finally looking to get some cart progress here.
Yoinkers with the with the revenge on Wood for the boop. He got booped himself. I love it. Let's see
Nice.
how Yoinkers do without the high ground.
Early grabbed on Surge came through here from Toastman, and a nice anti-night as well is enough to clean up from it. Johnny Scrims did land a huge anti of his own, but it's not going to be enough as his team were already dead all around him. And Zodic just able to clean up here.
All right, let's see. Their time's running out. Crimson is going to be able to get back on the high ground, perhaps. They don't even need to, though. I think they just got to sit and wait.
Yeah, they'll be able to play kind of on point here for the most part.
Yeah, spread it out.
They want to play this really passively and wait until they absolutely need to invest time or ultimates. As so far, only one person of Yoinkers is on the payload, but it's the Brigida. And now the Diva as well dropping down. But all's coming out from both these DPS on the defending Crimson side as Zodic takes out King Raptor on the high ground, and Yoinkers are under a lot of pressure here to contest the point. Zodic dropping the bomb off the high ground. Unfortunately, can't quite find any kills, but does find a DMEC onto Haze Diva, who's very quickly cleaned up as well. Zodic just playing out of his mind here on this Echo. Now the Nano Boost comes through onto GDB, but unfortunately he can't touch the payload in time, and that's a quite disappointing push for Yoinkers.
Crimson is just too tough. They were in full control that whole round. Yoinkers, they tried to push a little bit faster on the last two pushes, but just not able to really do anything.
Yeah, Yoinkers definitely struggled quite a lot to take ownership of that high ground.
So, are Yoinkers going to be able to control the first point, just like Crimson did, do you think, or are they going to struggle?
It's going to be a struggle to do so, but I know they have it in them if they can play as cleanly as Crimson did in that previous fight. But also we're seeing Halisov on that Widowmaker, which is definitely a scary thing for Yoinkers to see, as they don't really have anything that can contest that on their side. The best would be either King Raptor or GDB, but the Ashe has a severe disadvantage, and if Nutcake plays beside Halisov with the Brigida, it can just shut down any dive coming through from any tanks, really. Is able to just push them away.
Looking forward to seeing Widowmaker and Genji attack this map. It should be interesting. Let's see if they can get some picks.
Yeah, Genji kind of known to be a bit of a worse version of Echo. Now he has gotten some recent buffs in the previous patch, so it's going to be interesting to see how he plays out, but we know Zodic is really scary on that hero, so I hope to see a good bit of value from him as well. And very similar to last fight, we see these tanks just jumping up onto the high ground, trying to take control before letting the team progress a little bit further, and already this Widowmaker has been spotted on the low ground by King Raptor, who decided to back off and just play a little bit further back here. Yoinkers trying to play really passive and just trying to keep control of high ground for as long as possible.
Yeah, they're definitely giving up more room on this defense. I'm not sure if they got the time for this.
It was a nice play there by King Raptor, playing it passive, keeping the angle held on that Widowmaker, able to shut him down after just a few shots. And now a huge anti-nade coming through from Johnny Scrims. Not only an anti, though, keeps his tanks alive for that little bit longer. Haze Diva unfortunately does still fall, but so does Nutcake on the opposing side. Yoinkers looks like they'll be able to stabilize for a little while here, while Crimson wait for Halisov to get back in the fight.
Yeah, there's not much room to go. King Raptor's got a lot of room up here, though. Can do a lot of damage as soon as they come through under the bridge.
Yeah, but Sheg finds a huge kill onto Haze Diva. The Resurrect is there, thankfully for Yoinkers. As it looks like King Corrupted is just trying to farm up that copy, so he can just copy that monkey and try to hold point with his team. But the Nano Boost coming through onto Ludigo Yoda is going to be shutting down that Ashe and King Raptor, and the Resurrect won't be there for him either. And the Sleep Dart does come through from Johnny Scrims, but he's going to be chased away as well by Zodic on that Genji, and a huge anti-nade coming through from Sheg on the point. Does secure the kills of a few of those Yoinkers members, as only Corrupted finds the only kill for Yoinkers there, taking out one player, but that's not going to be enough as Crimson take the map.
Yeah, look at Yoda kind of popped in there at the end with his primal and knocked everyone around a bit.
King Raptor getting play the game as Ashe. That's actually surprising to see for me.
I was watching King Raptor in this position. He wasn't really challenged at all. He had that mercy pocket, able to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, we saw some nice shots there onto that Widowmaker, and strange to see only one kill as the play of the game, but hey, it happens every now and then.
Yeah, I mean it was a quick one, right? That game didn't really go too long, so yeah.
Yeah, Yoinkers definitely disappointed with that performance, but Crimson on the other side, very very happy with that performance as they did kind of roll that map, if I'm honest.
Yeah, they looked like they definitely knew what they were doing. Very stable, good teamwork, working together. Yoinkers on the defense too. They're a bit all over the place. Maybe that's by design, but I don't know. They gave up a lot of distance on that cart right away, and I mean, 2 meters isn't very far to go, right, for a final push
Yeah, but
from
there's a reason
Crimson.
that Yoinkers got stuck in that location as well, in that they couldn't push any further because that's the optimal place on the map, or on that point at least, to defend from, where they can most easily jump up and down between the high grounds with line of sight from their Ana, who's playing quite far back. If you notice, Johnny Scrim's position was all the way back on the high ground, kind of above their spawn.
Okay. I didn't even get that far when I was looking. It stopped at King Raptor on the Ash, pew pew pew, and away up there.
Yeah, definitely. Johnny Scrims is a good bit further back, as that's the type of style they like to play. Yoinkers like to play on that map generally, with just allowing their Ana to have the best possible lines of sight and just play nice and slow until they absolutely need to contest the payload, which unfortunately today didn't quite work out for them.
All right. So who's on offense and defense?
It looks like it's Crimson on attack first this time around, or on defense first this time around, I should say, as Yoinkers are on the attack, which I believe they chose to be.
All right, I'm really looking forward to seeing Johnny Scrims drive that car and get some fights in the back. It's so fun to watch.
Well, that's if they're able to actually capture the point, which isn't guaranteed, especially after the performance on the last map, or the attack for the last map anyway. As you see Ludogoda using a bit of Rhine tech to peek around the corner without showing himself off, to try and scout for some early Yoinkers picks.
Oh, is that what he's doing?
Yeah.
Okay. I don't see that in my gold matches either.
No, it's in fact you don't even see that too much in Masters. It's very situational because sometimes your shield will poke through the wall. Yoinkers here already looking to do a bit of a rotation, take the high ground up on the top left of your screens. As we see Ludogoda pushing in really, really aggressive here. He wanted to recontest that as the support. They jumped over the wall to try and heal up Ludogoda and keep him alive, but it's going to be too little too late, as he's going to get pinned by GDB and taken out of the fight early on here, which is a huge advantage for Yoinkers, as King Raptor now shuts down Zodic as well. We see a rotation coming through from the likes of Nutcake and Halisav, looking for some picks, but it looks like they won't be able to find them, as really, really good awareness from Haze Diva and King Raptor as well to shut them down. As now GDB pushing in aggressive, wants to take out that Rhine once again, making an easier push for his team. Looks like he'll be able to do just that with the pin, as Toastman as well going to be taken out as Yoinkers can capture the point.
Yeah, it all started with that Maywall from Crypt. Makes it really easy just to kill the Reinhardt and easily move in from there and almost snowball a little bit, huh?
Yeah, it looks like they will be doing just that, and GDB 20% higher already on the Earth Shatter charge, but surprisingly Toastman has 75% onto that Graviton, which is the second highest ult charge I believe in the lobby right now.
Oh, how did that happen? That's really fast.
I have no idea. He'll want to use this Graviton really as early as possible once he gets it, but the nice window coming out really early from Johnny Scrims here forces Crimson to play a little bit more passively and preserve their resources as much as possible. They already had to use Immortality Field, and this Reinhardt as well getting caught out of position is going to get punished here and get taken out eventually by Brigida. He went for the pin to try to take someone out with him, but couldn't quite find it. Now there's Shadow coming out from GDB just to secure an extra few picks here, and they do just that. Corrupted finding Toastman as Johnny Scrims finds Halisav as well. We see just Yoinkers pushing forward here, really aggressive. They want extra picks as Johnny Scrims is just driving that payload home.
Yeah, more good Maywalls, huh? Those Maywalls are really getting picks. Definitely seen a lot of Mays being played these days, and now I see why.
Yeah, her wall is really, really good for cutting off sight lines. It can even block Immortality Field from getting value to the teammates. So it's really, really well played here by Corrupted to get them off, and unfortunately a misplaced window coming from Sheg there. Going to find no value as Haze Diva as well is eating the Graviton Surge coming from Toastman. And it looks like a lot of ultimates being invested here for Crimson, but to little to no value, as Yoinkers just rolling over this next point as well, thanks to that beat drop keeping everyone alive.
Oh yeah, Yoinkers just in total control here, not really flinching at anything that Crimson is sending them.
This is a much better performance out of Yoinkers compared to what we saw on the previous map. As it looks like Haze Diva scouting that high ground, wants to know where the enemies are coming from. Now the window coming out early. Already we see Ludigoda falling quite low there, getting pinned as well. The beat drop left off him. The shatter, it does find 3, but unfortunately the Maywall coming through from Zadok is big and is able to block off any fallout from happening. But it might not be enough as Sheg was taken out as well as Ludigoda by Yoinkers, and this payload might touch the point or cap the point without anyone touching it. Nutcake does get there on time, but he gets killed very, very quickly, and looks like that's going to repeat happening here. As the shatter getting mostly blocked by GDB. Unfortunately, Haze Diva just in front of the shield does get hit by it, but there's no follow-up there once again, as Yoinkers is able to just get back up again and just keep fighting, and they do cap the point with 4.5 minutes left on the clock. GDB cleaning up there as well as King Raptor.
That's one heck of a speed run right there, wasn't it? Boy, I don't think I've seen one that fast in a long time. The blue team had used a good Maywall there, but it wasn't able to have to really stop anything. It was kind of funny watching King Raptor get stuck behind the cart and the garage door, trying to get that high noon off, but it didn't quite work.
I mean, it worked well enough. He got one pick out of it, which at this kind of rank is all you can expect out of a high noon, really. It's not really an ult that you use for kills. It's more just a zoning ultimate to just force the enemies to play a little bit more passively and force out resources if possible. So the fact that he got a Baptiste with it is actually quite huge.
Yeah, that was fun to watch. Nice and fast action.
Yeah, I've not, as you said, not seen a roll through King's Road that quick in quite a long time, and Yoinkers is feeling very, very happy with themselves after that type of a push. But they'll want to be defending this just as well if they want to win this map, as we have seen Crimson doing really, really well on their own attacks as well.
Ooh, Zadok with the J Silly, the Junkrat. I don't see that very often. I'm gonna take some tips from him. I really enjoy playing the Junkrat.
He's switching off already, but we have seen some Junkrat on this map before. We saw Junkrat coming out of one Mr. X, I believe, a few maps ago, as he was able to get some snipe rat in for a while. Zadok though switching over onto the Widow and then back to Echo again, as Crimson are coming out of the spawn. GDB looking for a quick fire strike for some early ult charge. Does find 15%, but not probably going to be enough to actually gain any ground for him. As Yoinkers decide not to hold aggressively with that Maywall, as they do see the comp that Crimson are running, will be able to just dodge it pretty much. As a huge anti-nade comes through from Sheg. Corrupted probably going to get taken out because of it. Toastman though does fall to GDB as Yoinkers decide to push in really, really aggressive. Just ignore the Winston in their backlines and just go for the enemy backline instead. And doing that, they found 2 kills and then were able to take out Ludigoda, who was trying to peel back for his team, but was just there too late.
Yeah, Ludigoda kind of out of position there, way far in the back, and you're right, completely ignored by Crimson, or sorry, by Yoinkers.
Yeah, really nice play by Yoinkers there to just realize that the Winston wasn't really a threat and just speed boost into the opposing backline instead. Is now Ludigoda taking a much more direct approach, trying to push in, trying to find some kills as a huge anti-nade comes through that window from Sheg. Does find 4, but nobody dying from it. The immortality field is there. Zadok now copying that Reinhardt, looking for the Shattered, can't quite find anybody with it. There's a high noon now coming out of King Raptor, looking to find some kills, won't be able to find them, but GDB does find Sheg in the opposing backlines as Nutcake does get taken out as well, but not before he's able to take out Haze Diva on the way. Yoinkers looking to stabilize here before pushing it again.
He made some good space there with the jump, but the Crimson just wasn't able to capitalize on it.
Yeah, they didn't push through quite quick enough for GDB to, or for Ludigoda to have any real assistance in the enemy backline, and a really nice immortality field coming from Johnny Scrims as well, enable the team to stay alive for that little bit longer. As now GDB getting taken out, that immortality field not landing on time, as Zadok as well, or as Halisav as well, find that kill with the high noon, and it looks like finally the cleanup is coming through for Crimson. A nice anti-nade secured Brigida's death as well. Ludigoda on the chase, and finally this point will be captured by Crimson.
I like Nutcake playing on the Brigitte kind of nice and aggressive, kind of staying in the front line. I like to play Brigitte myself like that. It's kind of fun to watch.
Yeah. Already some early ultimates coming through from Yoinkers just to get this early recontest. They do find 2 thanks to Corrupted Blizzard, and they're looking for more, or at least to stabilize the payload for their side before backing out here. That was a really quick fight.
Wow. Yeah. So what's the advantage of using a few ults there? Is it helpful on a time perspective, or what? I would almost.
It allows them to regroup and recontest. Now they can get a really nice angle here to hold on, as those arches are really hard to push through if a team gets to set up there.
Okay.
As we look for the fire strike window from GDB, can't quite find any kills as he pushes in super aggressive and gets taken out for it. His team not up with him, and just a little bit too aggressive. Once again, he gets taken out, gets punished.
Ooh, yeah, I see that gold. Reinhardt way too in front and getting punished. That really sets the team back, and looks like Crimson's moving the cart easily right now and getting regrouped.
Yeah, a lot of miscommunication there. I believe G thought his diva was with him. The mortality field was a little bit too late getting to him as well. So, a bit of over aggressive from G, but Yoinkers played well. They were able to all regroup, all run away and live, so they can recontest this as quick as possible. King Raptor now with the high noon coming out early. Does find Ludigo Yoda after the bubble falls, and GDB as well finding Nutcake on that break. As now Yoinkers just pushing aggressive here, trying to find any extra picks they can get. And with that wall as well, it looks like they'll find everybody. A nice anti coming out of Sheg for some extra ult charge, but doesn't really matter as he already had his ultimate, and no kills are going to be coming from that anti either. Nice play by Yoinkers there, but a lot of ultimates available for Crimson.
Marin, I see what you're talking about now on using High Noon as more of a space maker than to get kills. King Raptor popped it, and Yoinkers are able to move forward and chase them out.
Yeah, and shields couldn't be dropped either by Crimson, because if they did drop their shields, they would have ended up getting shot by the High Noon. As a huge shatter lands by GDB there, secures 3 kills for his team. As that's already a 1-team fight. Hollysoft though in Yoinkers' backline does find Brigitte. He's looking for the C9, but won't be able to find it as Johnny Scrims shuts him down.
That's what Johnny's looking for. He's always looking. I don't think you can C9 against Johnny, can you? I don't see it happening.
I don't know. I haven't seen it happen much in my comp games when I play with him anyway, so it's a tricky task, all right. With both teams here having 5 ultimates, and the Nano Boost coming through already onto Ludigo Yoda, pushing super aggressive here, making space for his team. As Yoinkers playing it slow, waiting for their full team to get back, waiting for that Lucio, and waiting for that Nano Boost to time out as well before chucking in their bomb. Looks like they can't quite find any kills with it, but Zodic does find a kill, and Hollysoft as well, finding 2 with his High Noon on the other side. The Graviton Surge being dropped as well by Toastman. That secures the kill onto GDB, as now Zodic using that shatter. Can't find anybody, but Ludigo Yoda does find Brigitte as well. As now Haze Diva just stalling point for as long as possible, but not going to be for very long at all. He's going to get taken out by a combination of Ludigo Yoda, Zodic, and Nutcake.
There's a fight. I saw GDP do a really good pin, but then some other ults popped out, and I lost it. I got lost it, and it looks like Crimson came out on top of that.
I believe there was 10 ultimates used there, or 9 ultimates used there in total, so a very ult-heavy fight, that fight, and now the rally coming out really early by Crimson is definitely the right choice. This entire side going to have armor, extra armor for this next fight coming up, as Yoinkers just playing it nice and slow, waiting for that corner to try and recontest with, but they're just giving up too much space here, in my opinion, as GDB has no shield left either to protect his team when they really need it.
Yeah, it looks like they're kind of playing for a last fight here, trying to delay as much as they can.
Yeah, both sides popping their High Noons here as King Raptor finds 3. A huge shatter by GDB as well there to shut down that Winston from doing any protection for his team. As that backline is just getting absolutely decimated by King Raptor. He does eventually get taken out by Toastman, but it's going to be too little too late. Nutcake doing his part as well. Actually, Toastman somehow still alive on the payload, but it's a 1v4 right now. And he tried to jump off the map, but it was briefly delayed by that wall by Corrupted.
Yeah, they were ignoring Toastman, probably by design. The fun little ice wall to stop him from moving himself off the map. That's funny. I like it.
Right now, Corrupted looking for some ult charge if possible to get that last percentages. Already the Primal Rage coming out from Ludigo Yoda. He wanted to find that sleeping Reinhardt off the map, but thanks to Steadfast, he couldn't quite boop him far enough and gets taken out. And that's a lot of ult charge for the opposing team. That was 1,000 HP gone in like a second. So Yoinkers looking really, really good here.
Yep, pushing all the way up, getting them all the way back to their spawn. They're feeling some confidence now. This is definitely where they could be building confidence, and they're going to need it to keep going here.
Well, so far we see a combination of Ludogorilla and Zodic taking this high ground, jumping up as GDB is getting antied in the opposing front lines. But he doesn't really care about it. He pushes forward, he gets the shatter, he finds 3, the high noon coming out from Holystop, doesn't find any kills as he pops it quite early there, and the copy from Zodic as well, getting burnt down really, really quickly, and is now the beat coming through from Brigida, enables Yoinkers to push forward really aggressively here. Johnny Scrims finding the first pick onto Ludogorilla with his window before getting taken out by Zodic, using that beam to full effect, finding the kill. He's now sitting up on the high ground looking for a last minute contest as the high noon getting pulled out by King Raptor, looking to try to find that Brigida kill, and she's just struggling to stay alive on payload.
GDP with the exclamation point on the McCree at the end. That was fun to watch.
A huge bump coming out of Haze. Diva finds 2 as well, and in these final moments of the game, that's so important as GDB pins Ludogorilla off the payload as well. And it's just this Tracer, Holysov, trying to contest long enough for his team to get back, but it's not going to be for long enough as Crimson fail to capture the rest of that map, and Yoinkers come out on top.
Yeah, Yoinkers are having fun cleaning up the map at the end there. It's kind of fun just flashing wherever they had, because why not? You can't take to the next map, right?
Exactly, just use everything you have. And definitely a much better Yoinkers side.
Is this the high noon here or not?
I don't think so. I think it's just pure cleanup here.
Look at him go.
And that is a lot of damage.
Yeah, he's not a stranger to the player of the game, is he now?
Not as far as I'm aware. I believe the teams want to take a little break to have a couple drinks or whatever, as we are probably about halfway through this match. So I'm going to go refill my drink as well, and we'll be back very, very shortly.
Same here, thanks.
Hello everyone and welcome back once again. Just waiting for the last few players to ready up before we get into this next map, which is going to be Hanamura. Um, Not a personal favorite of mine. In fact, it's one of my least favorite maps in the entire game, Paris and Horizon included. So don't love to see it, but I am curious to see how the teams decide to actually play this map.
Yeah, Hanamura. I mean, I kind of like the first point because there's a few kind of strategies you can do for it, right? But that second point, man, I really struggle with it. It's not a very fun point to deal with. It's kind of too easy to defend, in my opinion. I don't know.
Yeah, I mean, I find both points honestly are just a bit too defense heavy. Um, like unless the attacking side just have a lot of ultimates, it's going to be really difficult to break it. Um,
Y-
yeah.
Yeah, so I don't know. We'll see what we get with this map. What's the score at right now? Sorry, I don't
Score
remember.
right now is 2 to Crimson and 1 to Yoinkers. Yoinkers looking to do a bit of a reverse sweep after going down by 2 maps on both Nepal as well as Watch Point Gibraltar, but coming back in a big way on the previous map, King's Row.
So Hanamura, what kind of teams do you think will be playing here? What do you think the guys will be playing?
Well, I expect for the attacking side to go for a type of a brawl comp with a Symmetra, just teleport either above the point or above the mega health pack on the left hand side from the attacking perspective, and go for rotates around onto the point through that direction. Because that's kind of the only way to break through that first choke, in my opinion. It's such a tight choke that's so easily controlled by defenders that it's something really difficult to break through. The only other option would be a well executed double bubble dive, which also it could be seen out of either of these teams, to be honest.
Now, what's the best way to stop that Symmetra teleport? By the way, I don't. I it seems always chaotic whenever I see it, and I'm not really sure what would be the best way to stop that.
Well, probably the best way is just to play on point. And wait for the enemy team to rotate either if they're teleporting straight onto the point, then you can just collapse onto the teleporter, break it as quick as possible, as well as kill the people who came through early as quick as possible, and that kind of shuts down the first push. But if they go for a bit of a more educated and bit of a more kind of a flanky teleport, and they go for different rotations, then you just have to kind of counter rotate them and either meet them halfway and try to take the early chokes for yourself, or else use cover, natural cover, like use the bell on the point as your cover and play on the opposite side of the point to them if you're more of a ranged comp like a double shield. So it kind of depends on what comp you're playing.
But yeah, you gotta, and this is probably why you don't like the map. Whereas it's kind of like a luck, right? Like if you get lucky with a good portal, right, and you just kind of sneak it in there, then you've got a huge advantage going to the second point.
Yeah, it's a tricky one because, as you say, the ultimates that you build up if you get a good TP in the first round or just a good first push, then the attacking side will have 2 or 3 ultimates, whereas the defending side probably won't have anything. Um,
Yeah,
so it's definitely it's a really tricky map to play.
yeah. All right. So what? So let's see
Okay,
here.
these are some interesting team comps we're getting a quick look at. As we see on the defensive side, Yoinkers running that Ryan Diva that they've been running kind of all game, as well as the May, Cree, Baptiste, and Lucio, which is it's a fairly standard comp, especially for this map. Just hold up at the choke, allow the May to get some nice walls off, and just capitalize on them. But running the Sigma Diva is what I find quite curious on the attacking side, especially with the Reaper and Symmetra. It looks like they want to TP onto point, but I don't know what value the Sigma brings over the likes of a Reinhardt or a Winston. Oh, we see the
Yeah, I
Reinhardt
agree. I
switch.
haven't. I need to swap to Reinhardt. He's
Yeah,
trolling the casters again.
looks like we just got baited. As definitely GDB looking to try and scout for this teleporter coming through as they do so successfully, and as I said, they just collapse back onto the point as Crimson go for that rotate and take the high ground above the point. Nice play though by Yoinkers, as I said, just using the bell on the point as natural cover to just play around before meeting halfway and looking for the kill onto Luda who's just pushing a little bit too aggressive there, thanks to the Maywall coming through from Corrupted, and he gets taken out by a pin from GDB. And now we see that Reaper, Hollysoft pushing it a little bit too aggressive as well, getting forced out, got that Wraith form forced out as well. And a nice Maywall once again by Corrupted enables GDB to pin in, find another kill onto Zodic, but gets taken out in the process. Hollysoft with a nice kill onto GDB, and the teleporter still being up means Ludigoyoda is already back in the fight.
Oh wow, yeah, Corrupted with that Maywall was a really sneaky place to cut off the Mega. That was great. I've never seen that before. But excuse me, Crimson, they need to take out that portal.
Or you can take out the portal, I believe you mean, but yeah, I couldn't agree more as Ludigoyoda back in the fight, already finds a kill onto Brigida, and we see GDB only now getting back to the point after giving up a tick. But that's exactly what Yoinkers need, is just to play slow, give up a little bit of space before recontesting, and that's what they're trying to do here. But really good play by Ludigoyoda, holding the corners and then eventually pushing out aggressive onto the opposing Rhine, as well as Zodic switching over onto the Widowmaker, just taking the longer angles and securing that point for their team. But it looks like both sides actually have the ultimates available. Actually, Yoinkers looking slightly better.
Yeah, so I'm guessing a couple ults are going to come out on this fight, huh? It should be interesting.
Yeah, I expect another 3 or 4 ultimates, unless Zodic finds an early pick, which is exactly what happened. Brigida falling down already, as we're looking for a pause.
All right.
Not
So
entirely
why
sure
did that...
what we're pausing for. It looks like someone on the Crimson side wants to pause.
Yoinkers is sitting pretty with 5 ults at least. Hopefully that'll give Brigida some time to run back quick.
Yeah, and it is Illios, so you know, they will be able to get back into the fight as one of the fastest characters in the game. But still, it is a 5v6, and Yoinkers are down a support, which is absolutely a big deal here. As it looks like we're going to be getting the game back underway straight away.
All right.
And I expect Ludigoyoda to push in quite aggressive here, but instead he actually plays a little bit slow, waits for his team to catch up with him before finally now pushing in really aggressive. But a huge header coming out of GDB. That's going to shut down that push entirely, and now the May ult is well coming through from Corrupted. Once again, just to slow down that push even further. Somehow freezes the D.Va, who's not even inside of it remotely. And now we see Yoinkers just pushing forward so aggressively here. They look for extra stagger picks, and looks like they can't quite find them. Really nice play by those supports, as well as that D.Va, just to peel for a little bit longer, but not for long enough, as King Raptor and Corrupted do eventually find the picks onto Shag and Nutcake. There's some 2 massive staggers.
Oh, Yoinkers is gonna like that. They only had to invest in 2 ults for that fight. They got another one coming back with Brigida on the Illios, so they're sitting pretty right now.
They're sitting pretty, but Crimson have
coming.
6. They didn't have to use a single ultimate that time around, and early sights coming through as well means Crimson know exactly what Yoinkers are planning to do here. They see that May waiting for that wall.
Alright, let's see what happens here. Oh.
A nice teleport coming through actually from Hollysoft, looking for that Death Blossom kill, but the Immortality Field as well as the beat drop there keeps everyone alive, and now King Raptor with the High Noon does find Ludigoyoda, but not before Ludigoyoda finds a pin onto GDB and finds that kill. The Shatter was blocked, however. GDB doing really, really well there, as now Zodic just taking that high ground, wants to find some picks for his team. He's at 5 HP right now, but nobody can peek him. He has such a good angle.
We got like a 2-on-3 fight here for a little bit there. You don't see those very often.
Yeah, now Haze D.Va as well pushing forward. Does find pick onto Zodic. And it looks like finally the stabilize comes through from Yoinkers thanks to the faster respawns. Some really nice play there for both sides. Actually.
So Yoinkers tanks have their ults ready to go, with only Toastman on the D.Va on the attack.
Yeah, and Corrupted as well on 94% despite using his ultimate just the fight before last as well.
Oh
so
wow,
that's nice
fast.
play to get that back up again.
Yeah.
Bit of a different rotation coming through. Zodic switching over onto the May off the Widowmaker slows down the recontest as a tick is almost captured, but a huge header coming out of GDB. Forced out the Immortality Field, and that gets broken very, very quickly. And now the Mail coming through from Corrupted early on does secure 2 more kills. Nutcake is well going to fall, as well as Zodic. No abilities left, no cooldowns, and he's going to get taken out as well. King Raptor looking for the cleanup, looking to DMAC that D.Va, but not go for the kill. That's going to be a huge stagger, as Toastman, best bet is just jump off the map, similar to what Haze D.Va did.
Yeah, Corrupted getting that Blizzard just in nick of time. That worked out perfect for them to really stall Crimson.
Yeah, and as I said, Crimson still can't push. Toastman doesn't have his mech yet. Just a few more percent to go, and he's finally remeching, but that gave plenty of time for Yoinkers to reposition back up on the high ground with their full team.
Do you think Toastman should have used his ult there or not? It's kind of been holding this thing for a while.
I think no, because the fight was already lost for his team. It was better to hold on to it. for when they have a better chance of winning the fight, as Maywell coming out from both Reinhardts here, but GDB coming out on top with the pin, and now the Toastman dropping the bomb. Actually, no, it's not Toastman, it's Hayes Diva dropping the bomb. Doesn't find any kills. GDB, though, and King Raptor did find their opposing numbers in their other McCree and other Reinhardt. GDB pushing forward, does find Zodic as well. King Raptor, though, getting taken out. As I believe someone was touching point, I'm not quite sure who. Johnny Scrims shutting down Toastman, though, after getting demeched by Corrupted, as well as Brigida finding Sheg.
Hoyslav was in position to get some picks on the McCree, but just really doesn't get any picks at all. He even uses his ult, and then but GDB is able to turn around to the right and just easily block everything.
Yeah, GDB playing really, really well this map, as is Hayes Diva actually, or this entire game I should say, is now King Raptor with the early high noon, getting walled off. It's a huge wall, but he can walk around it, and he's looking for the kills. He shuts down that Earth Shatter. King Raptor finding 2 with the high noon, and as I said, shutting down the Earth Shatter makes it effectively 3, as he now finds Nutkick as well. Corrupted shutting down Sheg, and that's a really clean fight played by entirety of Yoinkers, but especially King Raptor.
Wow, he had patience on that high noon. I thought he wasn't going to get anything, and then he got 2 or 3 kills on that. Wow, it was really good.
Yeah, really well played to just play it slow, as you said, be patient, walk around that wall, and wait for that Rhine to drop his shield and then pop that high noon. I was able to actually cancel Lugoda's Shatter. So now...
Okay, so the Shatter got canceled there. I was wondering, like, I thought Toastman was going to get a big Diva Bomb there after Shatter, but it didn't hit.
No, the Shatter was cancelled halfway through. As now GDB has his available. He's going to look to use it as early as possible. So Maywell coming out, tries to split those tanks off away from the team. And another eat from Hayes Diva, this time eating Zodic's Blizzard, which is going to be huge for the Yoinkers side on this defense. As we do also see Holisov in a perfect position to try to do a bit of damage, but Hayes Diva shuts him down pretty quickly as he then continues to fly up and pressure the enemy Diva as well. As a D-Mac Diva 1v1 going on here.
Go baby Diva!
Really good play there by Hayes Diva, who has eaten so many grabs as well so far in this series. So he's playing out of his mind today, to be honest.
Yeah, very, very good plays. Looking very, the Yoinkers just looking very, very strong here. Woo, Shatter.
Nice, easy Shatter for GDB there, but the window with the high noon's going to find 2 kills, both supports as well. And he finds a third onto ASMR Hayes Diva as well with the flashbang. Corrupted trying to stall for as long as possible, as long with GDB, but it's not going to be for long enough. 2 ticks are going to be taken very easily here for Crimson, if not all 3. Zodic walling off one side of the spawn, with the rest of the team watching the other side. And nice, easy final fight. Kind of disappointing for Yoinkers, to be honest, but overtime was forced at least. So if they cap both points, it means they can either win or draw at the worst. So overall, very, very well played by Yoinkers.
Holisov on the McCree brought his buddy Chegg the Bastion, put up that garage door and got a couple pew kills at the end. That's how they pushed him over the line that time. That was finally got his value there.
Yeah, not only that as well, but Nutkick with the beat trap, I believe, made sure that they couldn't be killed either in time for that to stop that McCree from getting that ult off. So really, really nice coordination by those ultimates on Crimson. And as you said, those pew through the garage door was able to find enough kills to easily win that team fight.
I like that adjustment there because Holisov's been there for like 2 or 3 fights and he wasn't getting any value at all. They were able to make that adaptation so they can finally finish off the point. It's good to see the changing of strategies.
Yeah, and speaking of changing of strategies, we see a double shield coming out now from Crimson. That's something I haven't seen in quite a while. It looks like they're probably going to want to hold up top right beside the Mega, and just, I guess, provide the space for their DPS to do as much as possible with 2 long-range hit scan players.
Ooh, bringing out the Orisa. Would it go to? I don't think we've seen that yet in a while, have we?
Not really, but Hanamura is one of the best maps to play her on. She's just so good at shutting down some of those flanks and the Sim TP as well. So it's going to be very, very interesting to see how this Crimson side decide to play this. Zodic already getting a really nice early dynamite off, but not going to be enough as the teleport is still going to be able to get off, and all 6 members from Yoinkers are able to get through and rotate into point, and just taking their time to stabilize here really, really nicely. But Zodic is also playing really, really nicely, knows they're there and goes for the flank, and now with the huge anti-nade out of Sheg and the huge dynamite from Zodic, it's going to be very, very tricky for Yoinkers to win this fight, and already Corrupted getting taken out as well as Johnny Scrims' Immortality Field. GDB falling next, and Hayes Diva finding 1 pick, King Raptor finding a second, but they're 3v5 right now, or 3v4 I should say. after getting 2 kills and doing a really nice job playing nice and slow, trying to stabilize, but Crimson pushing forward even with this double shield. They want to find those extra picks, extra kills if they can. Looks like they won't be able to find them though, as Yoinkers is just a little bit faster and are able to get back up with that TP as well.
Yeah, Marion, at the start of that fight, Yoinkers took a tremendous amount of damage and just not able to really do anything.
Oh, Ludigo Yoda already getting taken out, but the Resurrect is there. The Fortify isn't though for when he gets when he comes alive again. GDB looking for the pin, can't quite find it as Hollysoft goes on the flank, finds one with the High Noon, looking for more with the Nano Boost as well. He finds Hayes Diva's mech, and he's looking for the kill on the Baby Diva as well. He finds it, as now he looks for GDB and finds that kill as well. Really well played by Hollysoft there.
Hollysoft's on fire. Someone find Oprah Winfrey, get her witchcraft off here. You gotta get him off the fire.
Yeah, he's playing really, really well this game. And doing a lot of work for his team, especially in that final push for their attack, and so far for every push on the defense. A huge eat by Hayes Diva there, eating the dynamite coming through from... Oh my god, that anti though. The anti-nade from Sheg finds all 6 members of Yoinkers. They have to play really, really slow here while they stabilize and get their health back. The Boop looking to get Bob off the map, but instead pushes him into an even harder to access corner, as King Raptor getting taken out by Zodic. The B-drop now getting dropped by Brigida, but didn't find GDB or Johnny Scrims. Actually, no, it did find Johnny Scrims. But this Ana Sheg, uncontested up the top left, finds the anti-nade on Johnny Scrims as well as GDB, shuts him down. Looking for the second kill, he finds it, as the Bongo as well on the point provides enough damage for this defending side to hold on for quite a while. But Hayes Diva not going down without a fight. He finds 2, drops the bomb, finds another. Corrupted as well, finding Nutcake, stopping that Resurrect from coming through as well. As now Hayes just playing so aggressive here, making that space for his team, pushes that McCree Holysov away as well.
I don't think I've ever seen Bob in that position back there. It was a good spot for him though. Yeah, good angles to do a lot of damage.
Yeah, pretty nice angles there, as you say, and looks like Yoinkers have the ult advantage here for this next fight as well. Toastman switching over onto the Zarya, which means he won't have anywhere near to an ultimate, as well as Udigoda switching over onto the Reinhardt off the Orisa. Once again, he won't have an ultimate available.
All right, so let's see what Yoinkers do up here now.
It looks like they're going to be trying to play as aggressive as possible here. Looking for an early pick onto Ludigoda, but the Nano Boost is going to make that very, very difficult. And the pin is welcome through onto GDB. That's going to probably get him killed. Yes, it does. Takes out the Immortality Field on his way with that pin. Nutcake finding the final blow onto GDB. And Hayes Diva and King Raptor, once again, they find a pick each, but decide to fall back and just try and survive until the next fight.
Oh yeah, Hayes Diva, I like that nice aggressiveness, and didn't quite get all the value, but was able to get out of the fight at least, and kind of save it for next time.
But did he really get out of the fight though? Because he got demeched as he ran away. So doing the right thing here, jumping off the map as that Baby Diva just to try get that mech back. And does take a bit of time off the clock for Yoinkers, but would have taken even longer if he tried to build up his mech.
Oh, I didn't see him. I missed it at the end there. Nice catch.
Yeah, I got demeched just exactly as he got out the door, the point, thanks to Sheg finding a nice quick scope onto him.
So Crimson setting up here with 3 alts.
Excuse me.
We've got a High Noon and a Shatter and another Bob.
Yeah. Inside is now the teleport coming through.
Ooh, portal.
Into the staircase, actually, trying to get a nice off angle onto the opposing side. But a huge anti-nade once again. Sheg is just landing these left, right, and center. And the Shatter as well from Ludigo Yoda, who decided to push aggressively in behind Yoinkers. The pin comes through from GDB to try to shut some of that down, but Ludigo Yoda finds 4.
Ooh, I like it. Wow, yeah, I guess he did. I didn't even catch him. I was too busy watching Sheg. Sheg's kind of doing nice job kind of sniping around on that Ana.
Yeah.
And even on the first point, got a couple kills there. I'm liking what Sheg's doing here.
Sheg is doing really, really nice anti-nades, but as well as that, really, really nice rotations to stay as far away from Yoinkers as possible to keep himself alive for as long as possible. As now the teleporter a little more directly onto the point coming from Yoinkers, and the Bob as well going to be deployed to try and contest that. Both McCree's popping the High Noon. Holysov going to have a rough time landing on anybody though, as the Shatter or the shield is there, but we see Ludigo Yoda popping that Shatter once again. He used it last fight and he has it back already, able to clean up that fight as well.
Ooh, Zodic doing lots of good damage on that Asher on that high platform on the right. Really getting a lot of good value up there.
Yeah, both Zodic and Sheg reasonably uncontested for this entire second point attack. And as you say, it's just a rough point to deal with for the attackers.
Is Hayes Diva supposed to deal with those DPS up there, or what? Like they're able to click any head they want up there.
Yes and no. It's very, very tricky to contest multiple angles, but for one Diva. As also he wants to push with his team and provide extra support for his Reinhardt, who once again getting antied and getting taken out of the fight so early on there. A huge grab on surge from Toastman separates GDB away from that immortality field. And it's going to be really, really tricky for Yoinkers to do anything here. Toastman behind them, just keeping that pressure up. But Johnny Scrims instead pressuring the Ashe off the high ground and does so successfully, finding that kill. But Ludogoyoda back in the fight, looking for some kills of his own as Hollysob takes out Johnny Scrims as well. GDB is also back, but he won't be able to do anything, especially with Johnny Scrims dead.
Yeah, just the Yoinkers seem a little disorganized on that one, and Crimson still very, very strong on defense here.
Yeah, Yoinkers as well don't really have any ults available like Crimson did to push the last few percentage, or the last fight, to get that last few percentage to capture the point. So it's going to be a real struggle here for Yoinkers. As the shatter coming through from Ludogoyoda is huge. It finds 3, I believe, or 2 at least, as Hollysob with the high noon as well shuts down Johnny Scrims, and a nice clean fight for Crimson as they shut down, or they prevent Hayes Diva from touching the point, and Crimson coming up 3-1.
Wow, that must feel like a very good victory for them to get that last point, and then just hold the full defense here. That's they must be feeling good now.
Yeah, definitely really, really nice play, and this flank shatter coming out from Ludogoyoda, just cleaning up, and you can see how quick his ult charge is going back up again. Before people were even standing up, he's on 50%. Crimson definitely feeling good after that map.
There's Chad getting a lot of sniper kills on that game. Not surprised to see that card up there.
Yeah, even on the Ana, I was able to get those kills somehow, mostly thanks to those anti-nades. And just overall playing really, really impressively. Anti-nades and good rotations. That's the key to playing Ana as well as Sheg is.
Yep. So it looks like Crimson now, with the 3-1 lead over Yoinkers. Yoinkers is gonna have to really hunker down and win some games here to get back into it.
Yeah, it's going to be tricky here, as we are going on to what is potentially the final map, which is going to be Illios. If Crimson win this, of course, that will mean they are this season's champions, and if not, then we'll be going on to more maps until one of the teams gets 4 wins. And I believe after this map, we will get BAME to actually decide maps, if possible, to keep things balanced, so neither team has an advantage over the others.
All right, I feel so privileged.
Yeah. Being the celebrity guest has its perks.
I'll take it.
All right.
All right. What do you think we're going to see on this map?
Well, I hope we see some ball. I really do. Just so fun for booping people into the well or off the side of the map. However, I don't fully expect it. I expect the monkey diva comp coming out from both sides. To be honest, GDB I think is right now baiting us playing that Reinhardt, but we'll have to wait and see. As Toastman also on the Zarya, so not exactly what I expected to see, but going to be interesting to watch nevertheless.
Man, we've been debated so many times on these pre-rolls. I'm not even going to bother to comment until they start running.
Yeah, that's probably the best strategy, to be honest. And it looks like both teams are actually going to be sticking with these comps. Going to be much easier for Crimson to control the high grounds of this map with the Genji as well as Winston, compared to just the Diva basically from the Yoinkers side.
All right, looks like
Ludogoyoda's taken a really nice position there on top of the grate above the cage on the side of the point where Yoinkers were rotating through, getting a lot of cleave damage down through the grate as well before getting walled off. GDB missing the charge there, unfortunately, as these DPS on Crimson side are just cleaning up the kills, and a nice anti-nade prevents GDB from getting any healing and gets the kill there as well. And it's just corrupted, getting staggered here, finally taken out by that Winston, as King Raptor as well getting staggered. So Yoinker's going to have to wait a long time before recontesting this point. Really clean fight for Crimson.
Yeah, Crimson showed really good patience there, waiting for that Maywall to go down, and then they just kind of pushed in. Nice aggressiveness from Nutcake on the Brigitte there to push forward.
I only just looked at the ultimate charge as well. Ludwig already has his Anzotic, despite Genji having a pretty long charge for his ultimate, already on 90% almost. So,
oh my goodness.
Both of them doing a lot of damage here.
A lot of damage, but a lot of patience also. Like, the Yoinkers looked like they were in a good spot to hold the point, but they weren't able to do it.
Yeah, as I said, a lot of patience here for these dive comps is absolutely necessary. You just wait until you see the optimal moment to go for a dive, see one person out of position, and you dive on it. But looks like this time it didn't work out for them. King Raptor and Corrupted doing too much. Able to get this off angle on the far side of the points compared to the rest of their team. And is able to find all these kills despite Ludwig using the primal to try and knock people into the well. Found absolutely nothing as Yoinkers were able to just cleanly win that team fight.
Well, that's what the Yoinkers is going to need to stay in this. They got some really good value out of that. I didn't even use an ult. Now they're sitting pretty to hold this for a while.
Yeah, they have a lot of ultimates available, and it's gonna be really, really tricky for for Ludwig to pressure GDB off the high ground, especially thanks to that steadfast ability that Reinhardt has.
Some nice defense on the high ground here. I don't see this very often. This looks interesting.
Yeah, it looks like they want to be able to collapse on their opponents here. Yoinkers trying to do as much as they can, but the Nanoblade coming out from the opposing side. Looking to try to find some kills. Does find Brigitte after the beat drop wears out. And he finds a triple kill overall. There's a fourth onto Johnny Scrims. And somehow the Nanoblade getting enough value through the mail from Corrupted as well as the High Noon and beat drop from King Raptor and Brigitte as well.
Wow, Crimson must like taking that fight. Still got two ultimates, 2.5 almost. And I mean, Yoinkers, they need to keep this point to stay in this. That was their time.
Yeah, so far both teams looking like strong attacking teams, neither being able to hold on to the point for very long once they own it. But thanks to Crimson winning the first fight, and a nice grabbed on surge from Toastman there, shuts Johnny Scrims away from his team. And that means no main heals for Yoinkers as the rest of the team just fall here. Yoinkers going to need to win this next fight to get back in this.
Like Nutcake still on the aggressive Brigitte. Ooh, I guess paid the price, but did a really good job of starting that fight.
Asmar Hayes Diva as well, getting absolutely massively staggered here. Just as he gets his mech back, gets taken out by Hollysav as well. King Raptor switching over onto the soldier touch point a little bit faster, but Ultimate's being popped here by this defending Crimson side. Looking for some kills, they do find a few. Brigitte does find the boop onto that Ana Sheg, but that's not really going to be enough as it's Corrupted as Sombra here, trying to contest the point as long as possible. Stays alive for a good while, and now it's up to Hayes Diva to try to touch the point, but a huge amount of body blocking by both Ludigo Yoda as well as Nutcake on that break, and Monkey prevents him from touching the point at all as Crimson take this first point.
Oh boy, Yoinkers are running out of matches here. I mean, what are they? Okay, what are they gonna have to do to hold on to this? They've been kind of hanging together, but Crimson has just been kind of just poking through them a bit.
Yeah, and honestly, Ruins is not the map they wanted to see, I would say. Because as I've said before, they don't really have a Widowmaker player. King Raptor is the best they've gotten. While he is very good, of course, Hollysav is a bit of a McCree and Widowmaker specialist. And we've seen him absolutely pop off, and Ruins is just such a good Widowmaker map. So it's going to be really, really tricky for Yoinkers to actually just win this. If they allow Hollysav to get set up, he's going to be very, very difficult to move.
Ooh, I'm looking forward to some good Widowmaker action on this map.
Yoinkers playing it smart though. They're rotating on the inside of the point where that Widowmaker can't get good angles on them. And they're rotating all the way through, trying to find some angles on the opposing backline. But a huge anti-nade from Sheg once again finds 3. And that's going to just enable Zodic to just keep dashing through over and back and find so much ult charge and so many kills. Ludigo Yoda doing the same as well. That's a lot of cleave damage for that Winston. And once again, the stagger coming through onto Hayes Diva. That was such a quick fight once that anti-nade came through.
Boy, Crimson looked good on that one. They made quick work of Yoinkers. Holy smokes. Not a good sign for Yoinkers.
Yeah, Sheg being the carry so far, in my opinion, for this entire game for Crimson. These anti-nades have been absolutely insane.
Yeah, Sheg gets a couple sniper kills too.
Yeah, and we see Hollysav looking for those sniper kills, but can't quite find the headshot onto Johnny Scrims there, who's now switched over onto the Moira, try and keep those tanks alive a little bit more in that burst fight. And Corrupted already finding the first pick onto Ludigo Yoda. That's absolutely massive for Yoinkers here, as now they want to push onto Sheg. He gets an anti-nade onto Hayes Diva, keeping himself alive, but it's not going to stay alive for long enough, as the rest of Yoinkers do collapse across eventually, and take him out. Halisov does find a kill on Shiny Scrims eventually after hunting him since the very beginning of the fight, but is going to get taken out for it.
King Raptor on the Reaper doing cleanup duty there, doing a good job, looking pretty confident there.
Yeah, Reaper a bit of a sniper at the moment since his recent buffs, and even more recent damage buff as well. So
yeah, we were watching
really
that.
Strong hero.
Reaper can actually take out those flying guys now, right? We saw that the last match we looked at.
We did. It was very, very impressive. As Halisov finding a really impressive kill as well, taking out that Lucio with a headshot early on, and now GDB falling as well to Zodic's blade, and he's looking for more, can't quite find it. As he does get hacked as well, but the anti-nade as well as the follow-up damage from the rest of the team, able to clean up Johnny Scrims and ASMR Haze Diva as well.
Yep, good value out of that Genji blade right there. Zodic going in there, getting a kill, and just kind of trolling him now a little bit.
Yeah, and Zodic using that Reinhardt once again to just charge up his blade as quick as possible. He gets it about 20%, but he's going to be forced back out once the rest of Yoinkers come through to contest him.
All right, we've got a couple ults here. I got 4 for Crimson, 3 for Yoinkers, and more to come.
Yeah, already the nice early nano boost onto the Ludigo Yoda, as well as the anti-nade grab combo coming through from Sheg, as well as Toastman. It looks like we're going to need a pause here as one of the Yoinkers members has left the game.
Okay. There's still a couple seconds left to go.
they have a chance to come back, but they have lost the ultimate. They were on 77%, if not higher, to that EMP, and unfortunately with that disconnect, that's going to reset that entirely, and I think that's kind of what Yoinkers are banking on to win this point.
Oh my goodness. That's very unfortunate.
Yeah, Yoinkers going to be struggling here for the rest of this point if they don't get... Oh, actually he is back.
Okay, Crimson's in a good spot here, though.
Zodic finding the kill onto Haze Diva there as well. And Yoinkers in a really, really rough spot. As I said, lost the EMP completely from almost having it to absolutely nothing. So Corrupt is going to have to do a lot of work here if Yoinkers want to pull off the win.
Yeah, Crimson set up just the way they want it to finish this off.
Nice play by
ready to get
Haze Diva, and GDB shielding all that Widowmaker damage. And Corrupt going in, tries to get the pick onto the Widowmaker. Can't quite find it though. He gets shut down and taken out of the fight. Unfortunately, not able to charge his ultimate at all, really. As now the bomb coming through from Haze Diva, can't find any kills as we see Yoinkers dropping onto point, trying to contest for as long as possible. GDB once again getting antied, and this time no supports to keep him up even once that anti drops. A nice death blossom coming through, does find a kill, looking for a second, he finds it as well with those shotguns onto Sheg, but now the blade coming out from Zodic is going to be a lot of trouble for Haze Diva here. He's getting chased through the skies and eventually taken out. Corrupt is going to have to touch the point with his translocator. He does do so, but he won't be able to find any kills here. Johnny Scrims coming back in, trying to find Zodic. If he does this, they might actually be able to capture the point. GDB getting back soon as well with a shatter as well. Does find Sheg on that Lucio. Yoinkers actually looking to have a good chance of winning this team fight. King Raptor as well back on the Tracer, finds 3. Looking for more. Ludigo Yoda pushing it a little bit too aggressive here. Halisov finds the pick onto King Raptor, but Yoinkers actually capturing the point.
Whoa! So, sorry, Zodic was on there. Who's fighting against Zodic to keep that alive?
That was Johnny Scrims, the Moira.
The Moira, okay. Wow, Johnny Scrims, that was a scrappy fight.
Yeah, Corrupted was able to stay in long enough to kill Toastman as well on the Zarya, so really, really well played there. And he's already back up to 70% on his EMP, so he has been playing really, really well throughout that last fight. The anti-nade missed this time by Sheg. Unfortunately, not finding anybody for his team. As GDB now pushing it a little bit more aggressive. The grabs on surge from Toastman, though, might be enough here to confirm the last few kills. The Coalescence is there to try and keep these tanks up as long as possible. But one anti-nade coming out of Sheg is going to be enough to end this team fight, as he already found King Raptor with a kill as well. And now the Primal Rage coming out from Ludigo Yoda almost finds Johnny Scrims off the map. He's able to get back up again. The beat drop as well from Brigitte, keeping the team alive for a little bit longer, as well as the bomb finding 2 on the point from Haze Diva. As now Yoinkers are actually able to stabilize slightly, but not really, as Haze Diva and Johnny Scrims getting taken out very quickly by Halisov with these headshots as well, finding Corrupted, and now the Sleep Dart coming through onto King Raptor on the Tracer. Halisov finding the final blow there as well. GDB now on the Wrecking Ball, just a stagger for as long as possible. We see Brigitte as well, and the Lucio trying to touch as soon as GDB dies. And they're just trying to stall out for as long as possible here, but I don't think Yoinkers can bring this back. But maybe they can with a huge EMP, finding 4 people. That's no abilities for this nano boosted Winston or the rest of the team pretty much, but it's not going to be enough. There's no damage there. There's no focus fire. This Winston staying alive, able to find King Raptor. Despite the pulse bomb being attached to him and Sheg doing a really nice job keeping his team alive, and Crimson able to come out on top there, meaning they have come out on top of this entire series.
Yeah, Howie didn't disappoint on Widowmaker there on that last fight. Really taking people out. But I mean, honestly, could sit wherever they wanted to get those kills.
Yeah, Yoinkers really struggled to contest that Widowmaker, and also, as we see here, really nice play out of Zadok. Using those blades, despite Genji not being very, very powerful at the moment, he's using Genji to absolutely maximum effect, and able to find those kills as well. Really unfortunate that Corrupted did disconnect from the game, and unfortunately lost a lot of EMP charge, which meant they couldn't recontest the point and properly capture the point as early as they would have liked. Um, and then couldn't capitalize on the final EMP as they would have liked to either. Really, really unfortunate for Yoinkers, to be honest. But with that said, really good play by both sides, but especially Crimson. And as I've said, my personal MVP for this match is definitely Sheg, without a shadow of a doubt.
Yeah, Sheg playing that really aggressive Ana. I really liked kind of some of those sniper spots, and the Andy nades were on point. Yeah, Sheg really doing a great job on Ana.
I mean, almost every single anti-nade hitting at least 4 members of Yoinkers, you know. Absolutely incredible grenades, and as we saw, especially on the likes of Hanamura, some really nice rotations to be able to keep those long sight lines to both heal up his own team as well as DPS and find those kills for his team as well. So definitely amazing play by Sheg, but overall really good play by both teams and every player on both teams, to be honest. Just a few unfortunate disconnects for Yoinkers.
Yeah, and great job for Crimson to get the win. That was a very fun match to watch. The teams are played very well today. Very proud of them. It was a good round.
Yeah, definitely it was a very, very fun game to watch and cast, and a good way to end out this league, this tournament of Johnny's Scrims. So to everybody watching, thank you so much for coming out. Hope you have enjoyed, and to you, Bame, thank you for coming along and doing a bit of guest casting with us. Hope you enjoyed it yourself.
Yeah, Marin, it was an absolute pleasure. We should talk about doing it again sometime, huh?
Well, yeah, it's time to get the hype train started for next season, so we'll have to wait and see what happens then. It promises to be much better than this last season has been.
Absolutely.
So anyways, guys, as I was saying, thank you so much for coming out and watching. Hope you guys enjoyed, and time to get hyped for next season. But for now, thank you so much for coming, and GG's.
GG's.